of the season. Since it is October, this video should be going up on the 18th, just less than 2 weeks away from Halloween. I wanted to share with you all my top 10 Halloween songs. These are the songs that I like to listen to around this time of year to get myself into the Halloween mood, get myself ready for spooky season, to experience, frights and scares, to put candy out for trick-or-treaters, to dress up, to decorate the house, all that stuff. The songs that I personally love to listen to this time of year. We'll start off number 10, Spooky, Scary Skeletons. Classic, especially in online, like meme spaces, things like that, over the last few years. This isn't a song that, I've historically listened to since I was a kid. It definitely is one of those newer ones, especially with all the memes around it and things like that. I believe this song, even though you see it all over the place, attributed it differently. I believe the original recording or production of this song was done by someone named Adam Gold. I think Adam Gold is responsible for this song. Not one of those classic songs like some of the other ones on this list. Not something from my childhood like the other ones on this list, but still a nice addition to the Halloween playlist. Next up at number 9, we have Friends on the Other Side from The Princess and the Frog. This is a new addition to my Halloween repertoire. This is sung by Keith David. It's a Disney movie, obviously, so, lots of musical numbers. I did not see this movie until fairly recently. Came out like a decade ago or so at this point. But then with the announcement that they were redesigning Splash Mountain to put in elements from Princess and the Frog, it seemed the time for me to give the movie a chance, and I wish I would have earlier. It had a lot of elements that I find very interesting. Caribbean style magic, occultism, like voodoo beliefs. And this song here, Friends on the Other Side, has an amazing occult dark atmosphere. And I love it. It definitely has earned a place in my Halloween rotation. A new addition to the list, like I said before, but definitely a worthy addition. Next up at number 8, we have the Ghostbusters theme song by Ray Parker Jr. I believe that's his name. Just a classic. I'm not the biggest Ghostbusters fan in the world. I know there's some people that are really, really into Ghostbusters. They cosplay as them. Maybe if I was born a few years earlier, a decade earlier, it'd be a bigger influence in my life, but by the time I was born in the mid-90s, I feel like it wasn't as culturally relevant anymore, but even still, that theme song, it is a classic, it is a banger, and definitely an important part, I feel, of any Halloween-themed party, any Halloween-themed playlist. The Ghostbusters theme song, I Ain't Afraid of No Ghost. Alright, next up, number 7, we have the Timewarp from Rocky Horror Picture Show. Maybe some people don't consider Rocky Horror to be a Halloween movie, but I always tend to watch it around this time of year, once a year or so. If not watching the movie, at least listening to the soundtrack. Now, this is not my favorite song from the Rocky Horror Picture Show soundtrack. That honor would probably go to Science Fiction Double Feature. I'd say that's probably my favorite song. But the Timewarp does have a sort of special Halloween party element that can't really be denied, and that Science Fiction Double Feature does not have. And in my opinion, the Timewarp is just a quintessential part of any Halloween party. And if I were to go to a Halloween themed party and the Timewarp was not played while I was there, I would probably feel a little bit let down. A little bit let down. Alright, now rounding out the bottom 5 at number 6, we have This Is Halloween, the Marilyn Manson version. I am not the biggest fan of Nightmare Before Christmas. I actually think that it is a movie that is massively overrated. Especially, me growing up, being like a scene kid, an emo kid. So many people had Nightmare Before Christmas backpacks, leggings, all sorts of stuff, hoodies. I saw it everywhere, and I've seen the movie a handful of times, and it's okay, but I've never been the biggest fan of Nightmare Before Christmas. However, in saying that, This Is Halloween, even the original version of the song, absolute, undeniable banger. Like, that song goes so hard. And the Marilyn Manson version of the song, which is number 6 here on the list, goes so hard. I definitely think that's another one that is a must play for any Halloween party. If I'm decorating the house, putting up Halloween decorations, carving pumpkins, doing that stuff, I'm gonna be blasting This Is Halloween. Gonna absolutely be blasting it. Alright, we're going into the top 5 now. My 5th favorite Halloween song is Dragula. Accidentally spoiled number 4, but Dragula by Rob Zombie. And I was lucky enough to just see him perform this live a few weeks back, but probably the most popular and famous Rob Zombie song. Like with the Timewarp, this is not my favorite Rob Zombie song. I don't even think this is his best song. There's a lot of his songs I prefer to Dragula, Devil's Rejects, Scum of the Earth, Lords of Salem, American Witch, Super Beast, Living Dead Girl. But I think Dragula captures a sort of Halloween spirit in a way that those other songs don't. And Dragula, in my opinion, is just a better song for this time of year. Especially if you're wanting something a little faster tempo, a little more upbeat. If you're going for darker and scarier, maybe you go Devil's Rejects or Lords of Salem, but for me, personally, for Halloween song, I have to go Dragula at number 5. Number 4, I accidentally spoiled it already. The Halloween theme song. The original Halloween movie from 1978 is my favorite horror film of all time. It is also one of my favorite films of all time. If you go watch my video I put out probably maybe a year ago or so at this point. You'll see Halloween, I believe it was in my top 5, but it's definitely on my top 10 favorite movies of all time list. It's my favorite horror film, like I said already, and Michael Myers is one of my favorite fictional villains ever. My favorite slasher, him and Jason are my favorite slashers. And, I have a huge love for the slasher horror genre in general, Halloween in particular, even though so many of the movies, especially some of the more recent editions, have been so bad. But that Halloween theme song by John Carpenter is just timeless. It's always going to be a song that I love. It gets me right into a mood, a very spooky Halloween mood. Kind of puts you on edge a little bit. It's a bit of a tension builder, that song, but every Halloween, I'm definitely listening to the Halloween theme song, partly because I watch the movie every year on Halloween, but, outside of watching the film, I'm also listening to this song. Alright, now we're getting into the big guns, into our top 3, and at number 3, we have Grinning Ghosts from the Haunted Mansion. The Haunted Mansion is my favorite ride at Disneyland. As you guys know, maybe depending on which videos of mine you've seen, I'm a huge Disney fan, a big Disneyland fan. I plan on getting the Haunted Mansion tattooed on my upper right arm at some point. I don't know when that'll be, but it's definitely a goal of mine. And yeah, like I said already, Haunted Mansion is my favorite ride at Disneyland. Grinning Ghosts is your song that carries you throughout that ride. And it's been a song that's always stuck with me from the first time I heard it riding that ride. I have it, in my Spotify. I listen to it all the time. I'll sing along to it. I've always loved Grinning Ghost, the aesthetics of the Haunted Mansion, and the images that hearing the song conjures in my mind. And honestly, when I'm decorating my house for Halloween, on the inside of the house and on the outside of the house, my goal, which is of course inachievable for me, is to make my house as much like the Haunted Mansion as possible, to that level of detail. And maybe someday when I have a lot more money, I can have a very expensive, like multi-million-dollar Halloween facade to put on my house and make it just as scary and interactive and horror themed as the Haunted Mansion. Alright, so that was bronze. Now getting to our silver medalist, we have the Monster Mash, Bobby Pickett. I grew up on this song. I love this song. Bobby Pickett, older singer, I think from the 20s, 40s, sometime that era. And he really, embodied and loved the characters he was singing about. He would do funny voices, funny faces. And this is just one of those classic Halloween songs. Hearing this on the radio in the car with my parents as a little kid growing up, I still have strong formative memories of that. And I remember, hearing this song all the time as a kid, blasting it, playing it as loud as I could get my parents' speakers to go. I just loved it, and I love it now as an adult just as much. Alright. Number 1, our gold medalist. I think a lot of you probably will not be surprised Number 1, Thriller by Michael Jackson. What else could it be but Thriller? One of the best Michael Jackson songs. You know, the King of Pop. This song is huge. Every Halloween I'm playing this song. You hear it out in public. The dance is iconic. The music video is iconic. And, you know, it's the King of Pop. Like I said, you know, and for so many people, this is like the quintessential Halloween song, and I can't argue with that. Thriller by Michael Jackson, it's one of those songs that gets me in the mood for spooky, terror, exciting, fun, fear, all the time. Absolutely love this song. I was actually just listening to it earlier today, right before recording this video, and that is what inspired me to make this video, was listening to Thriller. I was asking myself, what are my 10 favorite Halloween songs, while listening to this one. Decided to figure that out, write down a list, and then I filmed that list here for you all. So I hope you did enjoy it. I'm sorry this is a bit of a shorter video, but I would love to hear what you guys think about this list. What songs you would add to this list if you could. There's a few off the top of my head I can already think of, but I want to only do one song per artist. You know, I could put, you know, so many Rob Zombie songs. I could put Somebody's Watching Me, but we already have MJ, right? Even though that's Rockwell, but MJ was singing on it, so. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this, almost every single day. Until next time, guys. Bye-bye.